Hello, friends, and welcome back to A Brick Without a Wall. I'm your host, Laura, and I'm joined by Amber. And today we are going to get into Love is Blind Season 4, episodes 9 through 11. Oh, man. Oh.
Where do you want to start out? Because there's something like at the very forefront of these episodes that I can't shake. And it
Bliss's
was that.
dad? Because I can't
Okay.
shake that.
No, yeah, like that, obviously, I
I was,
definitely want to talk about. But this shopping trip with Chelsea and Kwame was so awkward. It was so
yeah.
awkward.
I don't
She
know
was
what
not reading his vibe, his body language. I don't
I
know.
don't know what happened there. That was like uh,
Ooh,
it was kind of weird, and like I don't
it was so unmatched. It was just not pleasant to watch.
it felt really uncomfortable uh
The
in the
poor
way
sales
that
associate,
yeah, the
like,
like that poor sales associate. What
what did he do to deserve this?
I oh
Being on
man.
camera, having to watch this, and then like the feeding of the strawberry. Like what did she say? She's like, "This is it's hot in here, yeah," and he's like he couldn't respond. Everything that she said, he wasn't responding to. He was just kind of like,
Fumbling through.
yeah, like
It felt
gritting his teeth and like leaning back. I don't
he
know.
felt really uncomfortable. Like it looked like he felt super uncomfortable, like he did not want to say something that was going to end in an argument.
Her
Yeah,
outfit was cute.
her
Her
outfit
body.
was. But I
She's
got a question.
okay.
Who goes into a store to try clothes on, wears said clothes that they have tried on, and then eats in them?
I didn't even think about that.
Because I was
See,
impressed that the store was like, yeah, that's cool. Go ahead and eat in the unsold clothing. I'd have to assume she was buying them.
and
But
two, I don't know, like food where you're shopping in general, like I don't know, around the merchandise, like it just seems like a bad opportunity for someone to spill something on something. So,
yeah, yeah. And clothing stores like that are generally kind of expensive. The less
mhm,
stock they have out, the more expensive the pieces generally are. And the way that it was arranged and like the overall ambiance in the store,
mhm,
it said very expensive.
yeah, mhm,
Maybe not like Saks expensive or Louis Vuitton. Can I even say that?
yeah,
Like,
sure. Yeah, I don't know, like I don't know, that whole situation though, it was just so hard, and I really feel like they're not a good match at all, regardless if he says yes or whatever, but I just don't see them being happy.
I'm so torn about that because there are moments where I'm like, this feels like such a forced relationship. And then there are moments where it does not. And
I was
I
really
just want to know
surprised.
what
I
he
was really
says.
surprised he joined in on the photo shoot even. Like,
I don't know if I'm surprised that he did that. Like,
yeah.
like a
I
big
mean,
thing.
I know if I were him, I'd be like, hell no.
I
No. I would be the little girl in the sunglasses with the fur vest on. Don't look at me. I don't want to be here.
uh,
No.
I would not. I don't know. The photo shoot would be a lot for me. It would be, but I mean, I could have made that fur vest work. I'm just telling you, like, you put the right outfit under those fur vests and they'll work. But we can
I
talk more about the fur vests later.
I don't know. I did appreciate though that like when they were first in the pods, he was saying something about how he likes women just like lounging about in Calvin Klein underwear or something. And then like she took that and ran with it. And then
She did,
yeah.
which like I thought was cool of her to like incorporate something that he's really into their boudoir engagement photos. I think they're the first couple to do engagement photos too,
Yeah.
which makes me think that like she really believes that they are getting married
She's so sure to the point where it makes me nervous that
for her.
she's hmm
Yeah.
but at the same time, like I see okay, Kwame going along with that photo shoot, like I almost feel like he would do anything for her. I mean, like that's just because me, I couldn't do something like that. I'd be like, this is cheesy, can't do it. I'm sorry. But like
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think I'm real back and forth on them.
Oh, I think everyone is. But we're going to get to more of them and
Yeah.
that in a minute. I think what we should talk about is what has now turned out to be the biggest triangle of the season. Like,
Yes.
this is, it's wild. Like, first we have Jackie and Marshall coming back from the party, and he's talking about how do I go from being so certain then to being so uncertain. She does not, she's not in the mood to talk. And I do understand that. And he,
Mhm.
but I, at the same time, I also understand where he's like, I don't want to be left to literally just ruminate about this until we talk, because he made it pretty clear like that's what's going to happen. He's got like a big day the next day where he actually has to go into the office when he usually works remote.
Mhm.
I just feel bad for both of them,
I
quite
do
honestly.
too. I do too. I don't think that either of them are villains. I just don't think that she's I don't think she's physically attracted to him. And I think that's really all it comes down to. Like, I think she likes him. I think she likes his character. I think
Yeah,
she likes him as a person, but like there wasn't that spark there. And she tried, it didn't work.
right. Like, that here's what I actually, when you said I don't think she's a villain, this was a little bit villainous.
I
This,
don't
and
I don't
here's the
know.
only way I think that this is villainous. Do I think it's villainous for her to go and meet up with Josh and then talk about how she feels about him and then them decide that they may possibly, probably try and date? No, I don't. What I do think is villainous, though, is no showing your dress fitting and not telling Marshall and letting
That.
him go to a tux fitting. Like,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I don't know though, but they've okay, at the same time, they've known each other for 2 weeks, we've learned, for the most
Right.
part.
But at the
So,
same
like
time, you also damn well know that Netflix is going to show that you did that,
Mhm.
and it does seem rather callous to do. Like, she's obviously been feeling this way. I feel like it was an oversight and judgment for her to go about things like that. She could have easily told Marshall, like, I'm not going to the fitting.
That would have
Instead, he
been
Instead, he found out from Brett, who found out from Tiffany.
I love Brett and
Oh,
Tiffany.
so do
I
I.
love
I
that
just love them.
I
They
love how
are,
they were looking out for Marshall, though. Ugh.
yeah, and that I love too, is that like Tiffany was like, "Hey, this looks abnormal." And then she immediately texts Brett because you know you got to find out if it's normal or abnormal
Right?
over there too. And I love that combo about them, like that she was able to text him and be like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" And he was like, "Don't worry, I got you." But then he also took Marshall aside and was like, "Hey, I just want you to know Tiffany texted me and Jacquelina never showed up."
Mhm.
And this happened while Marshall was like
Pretty much, like,
preparing.
boasting about, like,
Yeah. He was
how
about
great
to be fitted. He's talking with his friends about how much he loves her, and then that happens. Marshall's friend's reaction, though, They're not wrong. When the one said her behavior is trash, it was, yeah, it was really
That's so her meeting with Josh, like I kind of get it. Like you want to see, right? Like she
right.
what's out there? What could be? And she has to make a decision if she's going to marry Marshall or not. So you got to do at some point like figure out if you want to do it or not. And yeah, like that's okay for me, but her like just not showing up and not telling him, that was dirty.
I was callous.
Yeah.
Like, I understand being over a relationship and just wanting to move on, but I do think that she should have at least told him, like, hey, I just want you to know I'm not going to the fitting.
Mhm.
Like, we need to talk about this later, obviously, but I don't want you to go and then, exactly what happened, find out
Right.
from somebody else that I didn't go. What do you think about her and Josh as a couple?
Honestly, I think they're probably a
Better
better
match.
fit than
Yeah,
her and Marshall.
absolutely.
I
I
mean,
think
like
that they
he's no one for me,
his
but
personality is not for me, but his style is. I
mm,
genuinely enjoy how he dresses.
I don't know.
Turtlenecks work for the man, I'll tell you that. Like, not a lot of men can make turtlenecks look good, but he
Brett
does.
can. Brett can.
Like, oh, Brett can too, definitely. Brett
Hmm.
makes turtlenecks look real good. Like
He
the way that
does.
that him and Josh wear a turtleneck, it makes it look chic and good. Like, yeah,
I don't
not
know.
like not like weird and 70s.
Yeah, but also it could look like that old school picture of Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, okay.
I wish I
Yeah.
had it to bring up on screen right now. Oh man,
Uh,
that would be amazing. Oh, and then, we get to where they do break up. I thought Marshall was going to go off at one point because his face looks like he wants to say some really nasty stuff.
Maybe that's the if these cameras weren't there, I'd say it all. Look.
Uh, that's exactly what I thought,
Hmm.
to the T. I was like, the look on his face is that of somebody whose gears are turning in their head and they're weighing out the possible outcomes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff that they started kind of getting into there at the end. And in that moment, I was like, this is for the best. Absolutely. Because I think that individually, as people, that we've seen different sides of them that are both great. They both have great sides, they both have not so great sides, like everybody. And I do hope
Right,
for the
right.
best for them, but they are officially out of the show now. Like, and we've
Yep.
switched around to no Marshall, back to Josh. This season has been very exciting on these switches. Like, I don't think any other season has had switching like this.
I'm just surprised they're allowing it.
Can
Like,
they stop them?
I mean, they could say, like, we're not going to shoot it if you show up, if you go out on a date with another person. But it almost feels like with Zach and Bliss, they're like, oh, it's your second chance. Go for it. Love is not blind, but it is. Go for it.
It's
Like,
only
I don't
kind of
know.
blind. It's only kind
Right.
of blind.
Right. I mean, it goes against the whole point of the show, but it makes for good TV. So,
Absolutely. And honestly, Jacquelina basically made it to the end.
yeah.
She missed out on like 1 week. So, and she had flat out said like that she doesn't know if marriage, like legal marriage, is
Mhm.
something that she's looking for right now. And I think that that was really smart of her too, to just tell Josh, like, this doesn't mean that I'm like, I love you, I want to get married.
Right.
I think that they should date and see if it works for them. But I do think that they're going to be a good couple, honestly,
Yeah.
from what we've seen. Oh, man. Here we go. It is time to meet some family and friends.
Okay.
So we meet Chelsea's maternal family,
Mm-hmm.
and it fits.
Yep.
It
Mm-hmm.
tracks. Oh man, her family seemed very delightful, very like exciting, and it seemed to go
They're
really
lake
well.
people,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
love lake moms, dude. I love lake moms. They're the best. Like always running
Mhm.
around with their wine, calling everybody babe. Like, yes.
They were
Yes.
fun. They were
They were
fun.
definitely fun. And then moving on, we met Tiffany's mother at a certain
Mhm.
point, and we met Brett's friends who all seemed great, of course.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I was so heartwarmed to see that Brett's friends gave like the same feeling as like Tiffany's friends of being inclusive and warm and inviting. And somebody had brought her flowers, you know.
Right? Like they could all hang out together. I love
Yeah.
them.
And
I
I
love all
love
of
it. We met Brett's dad and brother. His dad's little comment about who's this beautiful woman you're paying to come here?
I
His
actually found his dad and brother to be really endearing. Like
yeah, I
they
don't
were
know
great.
as I don't know as though Brett is anything like them. Because his dad was like, in our family, it's like actions speak louder than words. And I'm like, that doesn't seem like Brett.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Brett seems like
Mm-mm.
a words person.
Yeah.
Also, like the whole action speaks louder than words thing, I think is a weird construct because words are just as deadly.
Yeah.
You can't just ignore your words by saying my actions are what I'm really
Communication
feeling.
is pretty important.
It's so crucial. And Brett and Tiffany both understand that, which is
Mhm.
part and the way that they communicate is part of why I love them so much. Tiffany's mom, I'm not a fan.
Mm.
Bad. I got bad. Like her little comment to Tiffany during the fitting hit me all the way wrong. When she was like, I never thought this would happen. I never thought you'd get married. Why are you saying that? Like,
Kinda kinda low blow
weird.
there,
Yeah,
mom.
low blow on Netflix, especially
Right.
because, madam, this is your first time being involved with her here. She didn't even
Yeah.
meet Brett.
I wanna give her the benefit of the doubt because well, I mean, no, they're in Seattle. Was she didn't fly in from somewhere, did she?
I don't know. And I would have liked to give her mother the benefit of the doubt, but in my notes, I have a secondary part where Brett and Tiffany are at their apartment and she's in tears and she's talking about how overwhelmed she was and how much all of this is.
Mhm.
She brings up her mom, and that seems to track because ever since her mom has been in the picture on the show, she has been under an enormous amount of stress, like that's really taking a toll on her. I could be 100% wrong, but it just seems like the most obvious answer would be her mom, especially because like we didn't watch Brett meet her mom.
No, I think that's a good call. We don't
Uh
know if their relationship is strained. We don't know I mean, honestly, I felt so bad for her. She was just I mean, I think everybody has been in that state before where it's just like you can't even get the words out. Like just you're so consumed and so emotionally drained that it physically like just you're incapable of like moving or getting it out or talking or making any sense. And the way that he just kind of like went up to her and he was like, "It's okay." And when he told her like he's here, it's okay, like she was able to like just get it out. And that was so, I mean,
oh.
it's refreshing. I mean, like some people can't handle it. They can't. I'm just Brett's such a good dude.
They are a national treasure at this
They
point.
are. They
They are a
are.
national treasure. And his surprise date for her with the plane ride seemed very fun, but the photo unveiling, oh my gosh. Like, and
It
he
was so
took the
nice.
photos
It was
and he took
so
the
nice.
photos of her. Like, oh
Of
my
course.
gosh.
he's totally artistic like that too. He
They melt
totally
my
would.
heart. I can't take it. Like,
Hmm.
oh man. They're just, oh man. I just like them so much.
Same, same.
But then, but then,
Okay.
hold on, let's do
Okay.
Zach's family first.
Okay.
Zach's sister, his aunt and uncle, and his cousin came with his niece, and everybody seemed very nice, very down to earth.
Yeah, they seemed like a nice family. I will say that Zach's, was it his cousin?
Yeah, in blue.
I think it was cousin, almost looked a little bit like Irina. And I was having another moment where I was like, oh man,
Well, I'm
like
gonna have to go back and look at that again.
she
Definitely.
resembles her a little bit. And I'm like, okay, like having another one of those weird moments with like Micah and Paul's mom where someone resembles someone and I'm like, whoa, that's kind of bizarre.
I do like how like stoked for Zach his family is. And
Yeah.
and we also meet the maternal side of Bliss's family. I didn't think anybody could show up Paul's mom until Bliss's mom came on.
Bliss's mom is an
Oh,
angel. She is a literal angel when she was like, I'll be your mom. I'll be your mom to Zach and like
oh,
grabbing his hand. And I was like,
oh, I have that written down. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, it was so touching. Like
everyone
her,
deserves like a parent like that.
yes, she is like, she was so rationally understanding. Zach told her the whole truth. Like he went law and order. Like he told her the whole truth. Like he was on trial.
I cannot tell a lie.
But her sisters and her mother, they listened, they didn't attack, they were accepting, they were warm and oh,
Mhm.
now you see how why Bliss is the way she is. Like
Yeah.
absolutely.
I have so much more. I mean, after meeting her family, I don't know. I feel like I understand her so much more now, especially meeting her dad.
Oh.
We'll get there. But I'm a big fan of Bliss. I really
Oh,
am.
me
And the more
too.
that I learn of her, her family, and the more I see of Zach, I like this couple. I think
So
they're
do
gonna say
I.
yes. I think that
Yes.
no doubt about it. They're in it to win it. I mean, it's not like a game show. They're not winning something, but you know what I mean.
I really hope it works out for them. Him with Bliss, like I think you get to see a little bit more of his genuine side because she kind of gives him the freedom to just be himself. And so
Right.
you see that, and it does seem like he's very genuinely in love with her. Like when he talks to her like she's the only person in existence, even when other people are around. But her father,
This man, first off, I know why her parents aren't together.
absolutely
And frankly, Bliss's mom does not need
dodged a
to be,
bullet there.
yeah, anywhere near this man. But the way that he kept speaking over her and like asserting this like dominant presence over the conversation and belittling her that way, it was so hard to watch. I was like, I could feel my eye twitching where like on one half of me, like I just wanted to like scream. And then the other half, I just wanted to hug her and be like, man, like, Bliss, I'm
You know,
sorry. I'm sorry anybody that has to go through something like that.
the first thing I have like in my notes about the family meet with her dad and his like her paternal family was like her mom is so great. I hope that her dad is even a fraction of that wonderful. And then I immediately wrote, he is not. He
It
is
really
not.
wasn't.
The stepmom burns Zach during the first like initial greeting where he's trying to like give the parents a hug, and she was like
That was
just standing
weird.
there. That was a little weird. And I was like, okay, that's all right, whatever. Um,
Maybe she was under watch. Maybe her
right.
husband wouldn't like
And,
be
then we
cool
go
with it.
to her dad's name is Shah, right?
I think
And then
so.
Zach are talking at the table, and Zach gets immediately super passionate about the criminal justice system and the ways that he would like to see it change to benefit people, like to benefit citizens for the better.
Mhm.
I'm with him 100%. Zach,
Right.
that made me like you 100
Right.
times more. A cab
Yes.
forever. Like,
I love to just I don't know. I don't have to be friends with people who are into the same interests as I
right.
am, but when someone's that passionate
Oh, I
about
love
something,
it.
I'm just like, "Yeah, tell me more." Like,
I could have
I
listened to him talk about that for hours,
yeah, same,
just like
same.
to get his perspective on the criminal justice system.
It
Like,
was great.
but her dad was like not really into it. And
Is
so
her dad a
Zach's
cop? Because he acts like one.
in my notes, I have her dad sounds like a cop. He acts like a cop. He said, actually, I know what a pod is. Bro, chill. All she was trying to do was make sure that you were following the shortened dialect lingo that Zach was presenting pretty quickly. Just making sure that, like, she didn't want to
Right,
make you feel like you couldn't keep up. So she was just making sure. She wasn't like, hey, dummy. She didn't say
right.
it like that. And he got like so weird. And I
Jumping
was like,
off
that's
over,
weird.
like, her just trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page and, like, getting offended by that, like, "What the
I gotta tell
sign?"
you that when Zach was talking to her dad and her stepmom about why he loves Bliss, and this is what I was talking about, he's staring down the table at her. Her dad is scowling. Her stepmom is just like blankly looking at her dad for guidance. Her siblings are like, I don't want to be here. He's talking to her like she's the only person in existence. And you can tell he doesn't care. Like, what her dad and her stepmom think. He's like, no way. And so he kept every time her dad would come at her kind of sideways, he would like secretly jump in kind of and be like, no, Bliss, you're wonderful. Bliss is wonderful.
She is. I have a lot of respect for Zach and that whole situation because he handled himself really well.
Way better than I would have.
I don't think I would have been able to sit there and just
Mm-mm.
make
Uh
things as nice as he did. I would have been like, "Do you wanna go? Like, are we good?
like,
We can
are we
go."
good?
Yeah.
When her dad gets on her and is all like, I'm not trying to be mean, but good luck.
He was
Sir,
absolutely trying to be mean. He was
you are
trying to be
absolutely,
confrontational.
absolutely trying to be mean. And then he says to her, you actually need intelligence. And I was like, what did this man just say to her? Oh, I don't remember what Zach's retort was to it, but it was so passive and so well calculated that I was like, oh, that was well played, my guy. That was a well played defense move for her. And her dad
Right?
just kind of settled for a second. But then her dad came back with his retort, which was that Zach may not actually be an attorney.
The way he said it too, he was like, I mean, I don't even know the guy. Maybe he's not even an attorney, maybe. It's like,
What? You think that the internet wouldn't have figured that all out already, my guy? Like,
let's be real. Like, who do we think Zach could be if he's not a criminal defense attorney? Like, what other occupation
I
do you
don't
see
know.
this man? He's sure as hell not like a lumberjack or on Deadliest Catch. Like,
Right.
you
Like,
can tell he wears a suit, the eye contact thing, the way that he didn't back down from Bliss's dad or feel
intimidated.
intimidated by
Yeah.
him. Like, I could see Zach.
Well, he even said that trial and jury court proceedings are his specialty.
Right,
So her father ended up just putting him into a position that he feels very comfortable in because
right,
his dad was trying to act like the law. And Zach was like, I mean, I'm a criminal defense attorney. I'll just keep going.
right. Good for Zach.
You know what I would like to see people do? Cancel treating your children like they're 11 years old forever. How about you cancel that? Because the way that her dad speaks to her is like he's speaking to an 11-year-old version of her that he doesn't think has any sense or
Right.
autonomy. Also, cancel treating your children like they don't have personal autonomy, like they don't know their own thoughts. Or she's 33 years old. I'm pretty sure that if it doesn't work out for her and Zach, this is not going to be the end of her life. But I would like to say that I do hope it works out for them because they do seem
Same.
very well suited to one another.
Yeah.
Uh,
I hope they have plenty more boat dates in their future. Yeah.
yeah, vote dates. I do wish that her dad wouldn't have spoken to her like that because that was just, it was obscene. He had passed absurd, he passed audacious, he went right to, I came on here, I behaved obscenely with my child, and then I laughed at her.
It was awful. It was really hard to watch.
It
It
was awful to watch, like, and how you had sent me that Twitter post that somebody had said she has had a top tier therapist. I believe that she has definitely been to therapy because the way that she handled that was really, really eloquent and well handled. I
yeah,
would not have handled that with my father like that. Like, I'm just not cut from that cloth, unfortunately. No.
good on her. Good on her. You
Yeah.
can tell
Good on
she's
both of them, really, in that scenario. He did really well there, too.
right. And like that just I mean,
I do like that he didn't cower from her dad.
that, yeah.
And
But I
like,
also feel like
and he
I
didn't go
think
too far the other side either.
true. It just makes me picture her childhood in a totally different way, and I feel like I can see little girl Bliss when she was a child and what she would have went through. Clearly, her parents didn't work out. I mean, she's despite, we see her now, she's got it together, she's smart, she's intelligent, but, a lot of people that are that way weren't always in a perfect environment growing up, and you can tell that she's just overcame a lot of stuff, and
Absolutely.
I love her.
I feel that way about Tiffany, too,
Yeah,
and Chelsea. Like, about like moving forward through like difficult past
yeah,
events. Uh,
yeah.
I feel that way about the three of them, definitely. Oh, and now we are at the fittings. We're just gonna, okay, like this is the first season that I remember where we didn't really get to see any of the tuxes ahead of time.
That and can I
Oh, absolutely. Go for
before
it.
we start, Vanessa shows up and she's like, "You didn't think that I would miss this, would you?" And I'm like, "Actually, yeah, because you haven't been around for anything." Like, I don't know. Like, it's just,
At least we didn't have to look at Nick Lachey over there.
and that's that's my next point. Where was he? What was he doing?
He was over with the men.
I just, I don't want to hate on the hosts, but do you think that they're going to be equipped to handle the reunion?
Vanessa, probably. Um, I think Vanessa does a far superior job hosting. I was really excited about the fittings just because I want to see like, but I feel like we barely got to see anything.
Who was your favorite dress?
Well,
Who had your favorite dress, I guess?
um, here are the four dresses that we saw. I think that all of them chose really well for themselves.
Mhm.
Like, I really liked each of the dresses that everybody had on for them, but my favorite dress, 10 out of 10 Tiffany's.
Yeah. I like hers the most, but I don't think that I could wear that style just because body shape differences, but I actually really liked Micah's, and
I
I
really
was
liked
prepared to
Micah's
not
too.
like it.
I did like Micah's a lot too. I think Chelsea's is perfect for her.
Yeah, Chelsea's
And
looked like Chelsea.
honestly, I really liked Bliss's gown. It's so different from what you normally see, and it is so, like, whimsical and
Mhm.
romantic, and it's perfect for her. I
Yeah,
think it's just perfect for her, honestly.
same. They
Um,
all they all chose really well.
yeah, they all chose really well, and I was really hoping to see more of the dresses that they tried on just to kinda get an idea, but I feel like the only person we saw 2 dresses in was Micah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm not gonna lie, I would probably be more apt to pick her first dress than the second one.
There's something about it that feels like,
It's very elegant.
yeah, like old and timey.
Yeah, it's very elegant. It's got, like, the right type of antiquated feeling to it where
Yeah.
it's not, like, weird, antiquated, but it looks, like, nice and vintage. It works really
Mhm.
well for her.
Yeah.
Um, but I like the cut of the first one a little better, but I wouldn't have wanted it in white. I'm
Yeah.
not a
They
person who would wear a white wedding dress.
they all looked great. They all
Yeah,
looked really good.
they all looked really good. The only thing that didn't look good was Tiffany's mom's comment to her. The venue, though, that they're having this at is
Yeah.
incredible.
Mhm.
I could not imagine getting married in this landscape just because this landscape doesn't exist where I'm at. But I wish it did. I wish it
Uh,
did, but it doesn't. Oh, I forgot though, because there's the bachelor and bachelorette parties.
ooh, yeah. Can we talk about how messy how messy Micah and her friends are? I mean, like she didn't make a fool out of herself or anything like that. I'm just saying like when they drink, oh my God, like they go all in
Yeah.
and wow.
Her one friend started attacking Paul again.
Again.
As soon as she was litty, she starts attacking Paul again, and the only thing that really caught my attention from the bachelor and bachelorette parties was that Micah finally stood up for herself, her relationship,
Yeah.
and Paul to her friends, and you could tell that she really meant it this
Yeah.
time, and
Mhm.
it was the first time that I think that it was captured where you felt like she was genuinely in that relationship.
Yeah, and I her friend is so possessive in a way
Yeah.
that it felt like from Micah's point of view, she was just it's not cute anymore. She's not having it.
And good
It's
for
not
her.
fun.
Good for her. She needed to stand up to her friend
Yeah.
because her friend keeps treating her like she's like so dumb that she can't make her own decisions in a relationship. Like, just because Paul wouldn't be a good match for you doesn't mean that it's not a good match for Micah. Just because you and Micah are best friends doesn't mean that you're actual clones of one another.
Right, right, and it's like she's refusing to let her friend, like, live her life. It's like, it's just I don't know. I don't know. Her friend really needs, I think, her single girl
Like we had
status
talked about last time.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like single ladies club. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, now Micah's moving on. It doesn't mean she's moving on from the friendship. She's just getting married.
Mm, yeah.
Oh, and then the rest is the Chelsea Kwame wedding.
They spent so much time with this couple in particular in this block of episodes that
Yeah,
I almost feel like I'm being gaslit into them making me think that Kwame's gonna say no.
me too.
Okay.
Me too. Now we meet Kwame's siblings. in this episode, and I love them.
They were great. They were
These
really
three
great.
siblings are amazing, but Barbara takes the cake.
Barbara is the smog of the episode.
Absolutely.
She's the
Barbara
most
is delightful.
the most energetic, the most energy. It was just it was everything that I think that was needed for these last moments in this episode because my God, like this, I mean, it felt like it was going on forever. It felt like they were just baiting us, like, and then leaving it on the cliffhanger. Come on, Netflix.
I almost threw my phone.
I had to go through the episodes and make sure that I was correct and that there wasn't another episode. I was like, man.
Uh yeah, I love Barbara. I love her jokes. I love how she showed up for Kwame and really had like a handful of deep conversations with him. Jerry told him dad knows, he's excited, you should call
Right.
dad. But everybody from Kwame's family is like, please stop focusing on our mom. Like, mom is who she is. And Barbara says, like, mom's into the word, she's into praying. That's mom. But it doesn't mean that just because mom's not here, doesn't mean that she won't be caring about you in her own way. But I'm inclined to agree with his siblings. Like, if your siblings both showed up and they're both saying, like, hey, I understand why you feel upset, but mom is how mom is. And
Mhm.
maybe it's time to move past, like, hanging everything on mom's opinion. I am inclined to agree with them.
Right. And the way that he keeps bringing it up and talking about it and kind of like tap dancing around it almost makes me feel like he's looking for excuses at this point to say no.
I don't know. I for me, like, the way it comes across is there's so much focus from his family, from his friends. Everybody's focused, not so much necessarily, like, everybody says like how much they enjoy Chelsea and how great she is for him. So other people are, echoing that back. But a lot of his friends and obviously his family have come to him and tried to talk to him about the scenario with his mom. And
Yeah.
that makes me think that it is much deeper for him than he is let on.
Right. Right.
And I would
It
hate to see him, like, if him and Chelsea are really like well suited to one another and he really does love her, because Barbara was going pretty hard on him about saying
yeah.
yes. She was like, make us proud. If you try
Right.
and say no, I'll drag you back up there. Like, his family said some things that I was like, huh, that's wild.
To me, it feels like Kwame doesn't know who he is yet as a person.
And that could
Like
be
he
it too.
hasn't figured out, I don't know, like what he wants, how he pictures and sees his life in the future. And
He's the baby.
yeah, and hanging on this whole like, does mom approve or does she not approve? I don't know. Like, I get it. That would be hard. Clearly, like you want your parents to be there for you, but I don't know. I just,
And he was taking it really hard that his mom
yeah,
didn't come.
yeah, and I mean, it's not just the mom thing too, it's, "Oh, like, I have my running paths that I
The
like to
moving.
run on," and it's like, "Dude, you can run anywhere, like, go outside, it's a big world," but it just to him, it feels like he's running through all of these different scenarios in his head where it's like, mom's not here, mom's not coming, mom doesn't want me to do this, too much change, like where are my friends? What about my running, soccer playing, like this and that? And he's just like the wheels are spinning and he just I don't know if he's ready for it.
I don't
I worry. I worry for the
I
state of this couple.
I have never been so torn on a couple before. Like, where I genuinely just guess that he's going to say yes because I feel like they've spent so much time trying to make me think he's gonna say no.
Same, same.
But
That's what
at
I
the
think
same time,
too.
it's like, am I just like, I don't know.
Overthinking
Am I overthinking it? That
it?
would
Yeah.
be that would not be out of character for me.
Is Netflix
Are
editing
they
this
yeah. How are you
to do
editing
this?
this? Like, please tell me.
Mhm.
One real quick thing is I gotta say this, is we get to the wedding part, and did you notice Chelsea's what I assume is her grandmother sitting to the right of her mother? She was in all black with, like, blue on. She looked very sharp.
Her whole family looks sharp.
They do. They're well dressed. So is his family. Both of
Kwame's
them.
family, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Oh, I
shot of, like, Barbara and Kwame walking to the tent is incredible.
I
Like
love that she did that. I love that.
yeah,
I love that she brought her a bag, this traditional.
the Ghanaian bag.
Yeah, yeah, that was really nice. The way that she acted with Chelsea and her friends and was just so warm and welcoming. Ugh, it was good. It was really
Yeah,
good.
I really enjoyed Barbara and Jerry. Uh, and then we have, like, Chelsea and her dad, they had a really nice moment ahead of time, like, before she walked down the aisle. And then, we get to the real guts of the wedding, and Chelsea, gives him a real, movie worthy vows. Of
Yes,
course she did.
yes.
Of course she
It
wrote great, touching vows.
it was
Uh,
theatrical. It
she's
was well
so
done.
skilled
Mhm.
at, like, scripting speeches. That's what she should be doing. She should I feel like she could make
Speechwriter.
much more money being a
Mhm.
speech writer. She is really good at it too, especially, like, for a certain type of speech.
Even the way that she was speaking to her friends before she walked down the aisle felt like this theatrical scripted speech where it was like it almost felt like she had everything prepared, and it could have just been the way that they edited things, but the way that her friends were responding to stuff, they're like where it felt like, "Oh, like, is Chelsea being a little bit too positive right now? Like, she doesn't seem worried at all." And then she just kind of let, like, one thing slip where she was like, "But"
Yeah. I could imagine, like, being of the mindset that if you let, like, the fear or anxiety that you're feeling take hold, it's gonna take complete control, and that's
Truth,
kinda what it
truth.
felt like to me for her. Her vows were good. Why on earth did he start so awkwardly? He said, "I will share what's on my mind."
Why did he just ad lib all of that? Like, that is
It was
I mean,
It's not
the
that it was
comp
it's not that it was a terrible thing to say.
no, but it's
It
just
was
the
the
confidence of
way
men. The confidence of a man to get up there unprepared and be like,
let's do it.
"Ah."
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he had said he didn't pre-write his vows. He was
Mhm.
just gonna wing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
okay. I mean, at the same time, though, as somebody who would struggle to write vows, because every time I see them reading their own vows, I'm like, man, that's incredible. I don't think I could do that.
Just, look online. Somebody
Yeah,
somewhere has written vows. It's
right. He
fine.
didn't do that. He
No.
instead started with, "I will share what's on my mind." It sounded like he was about to give a TED Talk, which was great in a way, but also it felt like it was juxtaposed onto the
Mhm.
event.
Yeah.
Uh, I also gotta say that when Barbara, like, leaned in and whispered "yay" when Chelsea said yes, adorable.
Mhm. Yeah.
But then when they cut
Mm.
right there, I almost threw my phone. How dare they? And then they're
Yeah.
gonna put 3 weddings on the final episode.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of that unless, like, everyone says yes. I
or unless everyone says no.
Yeah, but if everyone says no, then there's like running and crying and
Yeah,
sidebars and
yeah. We got a
talking.
sidebar. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I have a feeling we'll get at least one no, maybe one no. I
Who
would
do you
be
think
real
it's
s
gonna be?
It has to be Paul because I'm just going
Ooh.
back to the one shot from, like, one of the first episodes where she's like, I'm gonna let him answer first." And I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I forgot about
"Remember?"
that. She's gonna let
Yeah.
Paul answer.
I feel like
Uh,
that would throw me off. Like,
I
if
could
there was
see
doubt and then she did that, I feel like I would be like, "Mm,
I could definitely see Paul and Micah backing out of getting married right now. And if they
yeah,
do, I think that that's probably a good idea. I think that their relationship might need a little more time on the burner, you know?
yeah," and it's not about I don't think they're compatible, but just they feel like they need a little growing up to do maybe.
I think that yeah, it's not that they're not compatible. As I used to think that they weren't really compatible until we met Paul's delightful mother.
Yeah,
And then I was like, "Okay, now I see how they're compatible." Um, and seeing things have, like, really kinda come together for them in these last few episodes, like, where when they're together, it doesn't seem like she's just raising him,
right,
you know? Like, it
right,
doesn't seem like she's trolling him or being passively catty with him, and they really seem to be getting, on really well, which is great for them, but I don't know as though I personally believe that either one of them could look at their relationship right now and be like, "Yeah, we should definitely get married." I think
right,
that their
right,
relationship might be one, like I said, that needs a little bit longer to mature.
right. Like, Chelsea's ready. She's been ready. Uh, Tiff, they're going all the way. Her and
They
Brett,
have to.
100%.
Girl, I don't know what I'll do if Tiffany or Brett says no. I'm
There's
canceling
no
I'm canceling the show. We're not
cancel
doing it.
Netflix.
I'm canceling Netflix. Like, I'm calling Netflix and telling them that they're canceled. Like, I wouldn't immediately. I don't care about anything else. I just would have to make sure that Netflix did a whole special on whether they're okay.
Yeah, and I'm really annoyed that the reunion is live because it's, like, at 3 AM my time, which is
Yeah.
Do you remember the reunion with Shake and Deep Tea?
That was one of the
I think
first
that
couple
was
seasons, right? 2?
I wanna say 2. I think that was the most unhinged reunion. I'm curious how that's gonna stack up to this one.
That wasn't live either. I
I
am gonna probably watch it live because I wanna see how wild it can get.
See, this is why I wanna see it live is because I don't for some reason, I don't feel like Nick Lachey, like, I don't see him being a good mediator if things get real heated and over the top. I could be wrong,
I think
but
that his mediating style will be like, "Come on, guys, let's settle down."
come
Like,
on,
that
bro.
type yeah, that kind of mediating style that, like,
I'm just one of you, bro.
just forces people to internalize everything, which only turns it into a pressure cooker in reality. I feel like that's the kind of mediating he'll do
Mhm.
because it's one thing when they're doing reunions that are not live. It is a
Right,
whole nother ball game when you have to answer questions and engage with content on the spot.
right, and, like, just because it's live doesn't mean that there's not a delay, I feel
Right.
like,
Oh, I know there'll be a
because
delay.
yeah, but I don't wanna miss it live because what if they have to edit stuff out if it gets too wild? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That's the
Like
main reason I was gonna watch it live was I was like,
Right.
well, I wanna see it even if it doesn't get, like, unhinged.
Mhm.
I wanna see it before they edit it. That's the whole
Right,
reason I wanna watch live is because I'd like to see it before Netflix editors get a hold of it.
right. Same, same.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think they would just drop it in as is, like being like, "Well, this is what was broadcasted, so this is what we will show."
Maybe, maybe.
I don't know.
I'm hoping.
I hope
I'm
so
sure,
too.
like, there's I don't know, there's internet sleuths and TikTokers and people that will be screen capping stuff, I'm sure, so
I hate to jump
doing the
back
Lord's
for 1
work.
second, but I gotta tell you, he had made that comment to her family about the little pink palace that she lives in, which I thought was very amusing. But they really made the pink work here. Like, the decor for
Yeah,
their wedding was very simple, but really, really well done. I just wanted to
yeah.
add that.
No, it fit. It was her, even her bouquet, like, everything was so
Yeah,
Chelsea. It
everything
was
was it was, like, romantic and pink, but not, like, sucrose and obnoxious.
right.
It was, like, pastels and I like the decor a lot for their wedding. I'm not gonna lie, I hope Kwame says yes, uh, if it's right for him. If it's
Yeah,
not right for him, then I hope he says no.
yep,
And if he says no, I hope that Chelsea, manages that okay, because I do
same.
like Chelsea. I like a lot of the participants this season. I've
Yeah.
realized a lot more than other seasons.
Yeah, there's I don't know. I'm really invested in Brett and
Tiffany,
Tiffany.
oh my gosh.
Everyone else, like,
I'm
I
pretty
think I think
invested in all of them at this point. Not like
yeah,
there's a
like,
tier. Most Tiffany and Brett, second Bliss and Zach,
same.
third Chelsea and Kwame, fourth Micah and Paul. I'm not super
Yep.
invested in them. They may
Right.
not even be on the list, honestly. But the rest of the couples, yeah, like it's been really interesting this season
Mhm.
because it has been so different from the other seasons. And like, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, this season has been incredibly different. All the contestants are much different than prior contestant pools. Um,
I think they are spicing things up too in the editing and the way that they're presenting the show.
I have a theory
Like,
about that for this season.
tell me.
So this season, they happen to get a lot of people who appear to have been through either therapy or some sort of like working on themselves
Mhm.
to become more mentally well, to be more at peace with themselves, because there are a lot of people on this season that are pretty well versed in healthy communication, healthy
Mhm.
relationship practices in a way that we have not seen yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I think it leads to why there's been spicier editing this season, because this season, if it weren't for a couple people, would have been kind of boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, even though I think Brett and Tiffany are a national treasure, I feel like they don't get a lot of airtime, partially
Because they
because
get
they are
along so
not,
well.
yeah, because they're not having issues.
Mhm.
So notice that when Tiffany does have an issue, then she gets airtime.
Yeah.
And then Zach and Bliss, most of their airtime is devoted solely to their issues. Who we see the most of is actually Kwame and Chelsea, probably. So that's going to be all for this week. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and join us next week when we cover the wedding episode and the reunion episode.